Audio Jungle.
Jury unable to conclude whether businessman Jason Neal was murdered or committed suicide. The coroner's inquest into the death of Manchester businessman Jason Neal ended in an open verdict Thursday, with the jury unable to determine whether his death was a murder or not. King's Counsel K.D. Knight, who represented Neal's family, said while the jury verdict was inconclusive, it provided some comfort. The family was very clear in their mind that there was no reason for him to have done what he did, so the jury didn't find that he hurt himself is some solace to them, Knight told reporters. Attorney Christopher Honeywell, who represented Neal's widow, said the physical evidence of the police would have indicated that the verdict we submitted should have been the same as before. However, the jury, in its estimation, felt that they did not see enough evidence that would convince them that what was said earlier was the case. This is what he told reporters. We accept the verdict, Howell added, before acknowledging that the case could be revised if new evidence emerges. It is not in our expectation that there is likely to be any emerging in the future. A coroner's inquest is concluded to investigate the cause of death, particularly in circumstances where the death is sudden, unexplained, or whether foul play is suspected. Neal's death, which occurred on December 4, 2018, has been officially ruled as him taking his life after the 33-year-old was found with a gunshot wound to the head in his home in Ingleside, Manchester. He operated Neal's auto service in Mandeville. His widow, who was pregnant at the time, testified that she heard an explosion before discovering her husband's body bleeding on the bathroom floor with a live firearm beside him. However, the family insisted that Neal did not hurt himself. During the hearings, it was revealed that forensics analysis did not find any gunshot residue on the hands of Neal or his widow. However, it was pointed out that the absence of residue does not necessarily prove that an individual did not fire a gun. Knight expressed that the outcome leaves the case in a state of uncertainty. The clerk to the proceedings will no doubt confer with the Director of Public Prosecutions, he said, when asked about the possible avenues for the case moving forward. We'll see where it can go from there, he added. Several of Neal's family members testified before the 7-member jury at the inquest, which began in December 2023 at the Mandeville Coroner Court in Manchester. Government to invest $8.2 billion on the Technology in Schools policy, stated Williams. The government has invested $8.2 billion in tablets, laptops, interactive panels, projectors, and specialized equipment for special needs schools since 2017. This was noted by Finance and Public Service Minister Favor Williams as she closed the 2025-2026 budget debate on Tuesday. She was responding to opposition People's National Party, which promised to remove all the taxes on laptops and tablets for students and teachers at a cost of $350 million. At least $1 billion is committed annually towards funding our technology and education policy. There is no comparison, Williams stated. She also noted that opposition leader Mark Golding, in his presentation, stated NP will negotiate package deals to provide teachers with free internet service as a tool of their trade. Responding, Williams said, this government provides laptops, tablets, and other devices for students, teachers, and classrooms. Since COVID in 2020, this government has issued out, free of cost to students, teachers, and installing classrooms 198,323 tablets, laptops, interactive panel projectors, and specialized equipment for special education schools since we have been in the government. To date, our spend on behalf of the Jamaican people have been $8.2 billion, and each year we make an allocation of at least $1 billion to ensure we'll continue with our Technology in Schools program, the minister added. Williams highlighted that since 2020, the administration has been rolling out broadband internet service in schools at no cost. As of today, about 680 schools have free Wi-Fi inside and outside the classrooms, and we are not yet done. Every school will have Wi-Fi inside and outside. That's not a promise, that's a commitment, and we back it up with an annual allocation year on year out, she noted. She also pointed to the 379 community Wi-Fi hotspots located across Jamaica. NSWMA boosts public education and waste management with staff increase. The National Solid Waste Management Authority's efforts at public education about proper waste management practices have been boosted with a significant increase in staff. Executive Director Ardley Gordon said previously the agency had 4 people in the Community Relations Department responsible for the educational campaign island-wide. Mr. Garden said the staff complement has been increased to 15.
Before now, we had 4 people doing the entire island of Jamaica. And you can understand logistically how much a challenge that is to have 4 individuals doing the community relations, public education work right across all the parishes. It was just an impossible task, and maybe I should pause to acknowledge them, those 4 community relations officers, and the work they did during the many years that that structure obtained. We thought that was untenable, and so we fought, and I would say a good fight, and won. And government, thanks to the current government, we have expanded the number of community relations slash public education officer to 15. So now we can do more penetrative work, more in-the-face work, more decisive work as we seek to change the culture that currently obtained to move people into a new dispensation where we take full responsibility for the solid waste that we generate. Too often people believe that they can dirty up and somebody else come and do the cleaning up. It is not true. We all have a duty to Jamaica's beauty.
Tourism officials elated at news of travel advisory reviewed by U.S. Local tourism officials and stakeholders say they are elated with the announcement that the United States will be reviewing its travel advisory for Jamaica. Government officials, hoteliers, restaurant and attraction owners says comments made by the U.S. Secretary of State at a joint press conference with Jamaica Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness at the office of the Prime Minister on Wednesday, which acknowledges Jamaica's significant progress in reducing crime, have been met with widespread enthusiasm. This, they note, could have come at a better time and, more importantly, could lead to a positive shift in the perception of Jamaica as a travel destination. The Secretary highlighted that Jamaica has made remarkable strides in crime reduction. We pledge that we are going to go back and re-evaluate the travel advisories that they currently stand to ensure that they do reflect the reality of the new numbers and what the numbers show, stated the Secretary, adding that Jamaica has made very impressive progress in their general numbers overall when it comes to the murder rate and so forth. Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett expressed his elation at this development, telling reporters that this is indeed great and positive news. Coming from America's top diplomat, Secretary of State, reinforces that all the hard work Jamaica has put in lowering crime rates is paying off. It's wonderful to hear that our collective calls for a review of the U.S. travel advisory are being acknowledged and acted upon, the minister noted. The travel advisory, which was issued in January 2024 and revised 7 months later in July, when the language or tweaked somehow, has been a point of concern for Jamaica's tourism sector, which relies heavily on visitors from the U.S., the country's main source market. Chairman of the Destination Assurance Council, Montego Bay Chapter, John Blythe, said the news could not have come at a better time for tourism stakeholders. The travel advisory has been like this around our neck for the tourism sector, affecting us in every possible way. It is uplifting to hear that our efforts to reduce crime are being recognized at such a high level, especially by the Secretary, he noted. Who is also the Executive Deputy Chairman of Choco Caribbean Adventures, said the onus is now on Jamaica to maintain and sustain the gains made in the reduction of crime, noting that this pledge from the U.S. top diplomat, the Secretary, that the advice will be reviewed, should be enough motivation for us to keep crime in check. Deputy Chairman of Coppers Resort, Paul Issa, said the words from the Secretary are what all tourism stakeholders have been waiting to hear. The adverse effect of the travel advisory on the hotelry sector and the Jamaican economy have been significant. This is great news. We just need to continue on this trajectory of crime reduction, as it can only get better for us in terms of tourism, he added. Jamaica Hotel and Tourism Association President Robin Russell said that hearing the news from the U.S. State Department has made all more than ecstatic. What is most encouraging is the tone of the discussion with the Secretary and his team. It was one of the mutual respect and recognition of hard work Jamaica has been putting in to address our issues as a country. We hope that the U.S. Travel Advisory Review will be favorable and will continue to do the work to make Jamaica the best country to vacation in the world, Russell added. The Secretary is currently on a trip in the Caribbean, meeting with several CARICOM heads of government. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.